Thomas Meehan firstly, he's a really nice guy. He is possibly the best cyclocross rider domestically right now. He's always fighting with riders like Joe Blackmore and Cameron Mason, particularly on like an international level, and those two have stepped up now. Blackmore famously to Israel Premier Tech, and Cam Mason with Alpecin. Thomas Meehan is like the best domestic rider, hands down. He wins almost every single national series round. He wins abroad as well, and he's pretty much almost like the rider who got away. That's what it feels like sometimes in terms of the road scene. He was with SunCod and 8085 when they folded, and then he stepped away from that and now rides for Hope Factory Racing on the cyclocross scene. And every single time he wins, it's like, man, this guy's incredible. You're looking at the results and wondering, why is this guy not not on a big pro team? He's really good rider, really nice guy, and I want to see him step up, to be honest.
Yeah, pretty much. He's still very young, probably in his prime, 25. Yeah. Still plenty of opportunity to move up onto a bigger team. He's recently won a C2 level cyclocross race in France, the Rivabella Cross. I assume that's quite a big race. He came 11th in the Koppenberg Cross, a massive cyclocross race in Belgium, on Koppenberg, the famous climb they go up in the Tour of Flanders. And he's won all the national series rounds so far in the UK, like you said. He also won the national championships for cyclocross 2 years ago in 2022, and then last year came second to, of course, Cam Mason. But yeah, it's really positive, obviously, seeing him do well abroad. We've seen the likes of Tom Pidcock rise through those sort of ranks and go on to do great stuff at Ineos. So yeah, hopefully he does find a place for himself.
Yeah, I think the thing that's always, and we spoke a little bit about this before, is like whether he wants to race as a pro on the road anymore as well. I think people forget that, yes, while you can go and race the Tour de France, and it's like the ultimate goal, it's not everyone's goal. And we have to ask, and I really want to sit down and ask him one day, like, hey, what is your goal in cycling? And he may just want to be really good at cyclocross. He may want to stay at home. I know I would really struggle with being a professional cyclist. I'm married. If I had to be away from my wife and like my family home for 100, 200 days of the year, I'd really struggle with that. And not everyone wants to do that. So it could be the case that he doesn't want to race abroad, and actually he's happy racing effectively as a semi-pro in the UK. But I don't really know. And it kind of raises the question of like the wider question of like what is the ultimate goal in cycling? Does it always have to be racing the Tour de France, or should we have a healthy scene here?
Yeah, you bring up a good point. Like I think it'd be really healthy if he is just making a living. I don't know whether he works alongside it, maybe part-time. But I mean, if he's winning these level of cyclocross races, getting in the top 11, I imagine he's making a decent amount of prize money, some funding from sponsors and teams. Like, yeah, I think it's good that there's a rider that is able to kind of do that sustainably. Like, he's been doing it for a few years now. Yeah, hopefully he either kicks on or as long as he's happy. That's the. He's obviously getting good results and doing well at the races he wants to do well at. Like 11th at Koppenberg Cross, he was only within 3 minutes of Lars van der Haar, who won. So yeah, plenty of movement there.
That's an insane level as well to be racing at, and I think people like that's one of the things you don't often see. Like when I know I speak a lot with the Spectra guys, so that'll be like Dan Barnes and Toby Barnes in particular, and Simon Wiley. Like they're usually those second to fifth positions behind Thomas Meehan, and it's tough for them as well. Like, man, I'm turning up, and if it's a course that suits Thomas, you're like, oh, okay, this is going to be a tough race, and he may well absolutely spank me. So it would be really nice. But they, to be fair, are very good riders, and they're stepping up each year. Often they close the gap. I'd love to see like a really strong British cyclocross scene where you've got riders like Thomas Meehan, you've got riders like Toby Barnes, fighting against each other, and you effectively have like a domestic version of that Wout van Aert, Mathieu van der Poel rivalry, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, exactly. I think it might seem a little bit negative, like he's trouncing the National Series at the moment. Like he's very comfortably. I mean, I'm sure it's not easy, but he's very comfortably winning the rounds. I think that is a good thing in the long term. In the short term, it's a little bit boring. Sorry, Thomas, but when you've got that level of rider that's there, eventually it'll encourage other high level riders to be like, maybe a little bit annoyed that he's winning them so easily. Be like, oh, I could win those, and then that's when you get people turning up trying to beat Thomas, and then suddenly you've got 5-10 riders at that level all battling out again. So yeah, I think it's a positive thing in the long term. I'm sure we'll chat to him on the pod eventually.
Yeah, I'll try my best.